Have you ever wondered who Confucius was and what his teachings meant for the world? Let's travel back in time, over 2.5 millennia ago to the year 551 before the Common Era. We find ourselves in the ancient state of Lu, located in what we now know as China. This is where our story begins, with the birth of a boy named Confucius. Confucius was born into an era of great social and political upheaval. The Zhou dynasty, which had provided a semblance of order and unity, was beginning to crumble under the weight of its own corruption. Warlords vied for power, the common people suffered, and the societal norms of the time were deeply entrenched in chaos and injustice. This was not a time of peace and prosperity, but rather, it was a time of struggle and uncertainty. Yet, it was within this tumultuous landscape that the young Confucius grew up. His early life was far from idyllic. His father passed away when he was just 3 years old, leaving him and his mother to fend for themselves in a society that offered little support to the bereaved and the impoverished. Despite these hardships, Confucius proved to be a resilient and determined individual. He was an avid learner, constantly seeking knowledge and wisdom from the world around him. He was deeply affected by the suffering and injustice he witnessed, and it was these experiences that formed the foundation of his philosophical thoughts. Confucius believed in the power of moral virtue and righteousness. He saw that the chaos and strife of his time were largely due to the abandonment of these values. And so, he sought to instill these principles back into the society around him, hoping to restore order and harmony. And thus, in this chaotic world, a boy named Confucius embarked on a journey that would forever change the course of history. Scene script. Confucius started teaching when he was just 30, but what exactly did he teach? Well, let's delve into the core teachings of Confucius, which revolve around 3 central pillars: Ren, Yi, and Li. These might seem a bit abstract at first, but they are actually deeply practical, guiding principles for living a virtuous life. Let's start with Ren. Often translated as benevolence, Ren is the virtue of compassion. It's about caring for others and treating them with kindness and respect. It's about recognizing our shared humanity and acting in ways that affirm it. Confucius believed that a society grounded in Ren would be one where people look out for each other, where empathy and understanding rule over conflict and division. Next up is Yi, typically translated as righteousness. Yi is about understanding what is right and what is wrong and choosing to act morally. It's about doing the right thing, even when it's difficult or inconvenient. For Confucius, righteousness was not about following rules blindly, but about understanding the spirit of the law and acting accordingly. Last but not least, we have Li, or ritual propriety. This is perhaps the most misunderstood of Confucius's teachings. Li isn't about rigid adherence to tradition or ritual for its own sake. Instead, it's about understanding the deep social importance of rituals and traditions. They guide our behavior, shape our relationships, and foster a sense of community. Confucius saw rituals as a way of cultivating respect, both for others and for the social order. These teachings of Confucius, Ren, Yi, and Li are not just philosophical concepts. They are practical guidelines for how to live, how to interact with others, and how to create a harmonious society. They're about developing a deep understanding of our roles and responsibilities, and committing to act in ways that promote the greater good. In essence, Confucius taught us how to be human, how to interact with others, and how to live a life of virtue. But what impact did Confucius and his teachings have on the world? That's a question that has intrigued historians and scholars for centuries. The answer lies in the profound influence Confucianism had in shaping the societies of China and other parts of East Asia. Confucianism spread rapidly across China after Confucius's death, becoming the dominant ideology during the Han Dynasty. It was during this era that Confucianism was officially adopted as the state philosophy. This was a pivotal moment in history as it marked the beginning of a long period of Confucian influence on Chinese politics and society. The teachings of Confucius were not just about personal conduct, but extended to how a society should be structured. His belief in a well-ordered society, where each individual knows their place and fulfills their duty, deeply influenced the hierarchical structure of Chinese society. From the emperor to the commoner, each had a defined role to play, a concept that was deeply rooted in Confucian thought. Confucianism also had a significant impact on the cultural aspects of East Asian societies. The emphasis on education, respect for elders, and the importance of family ties are all deeply rooted in Confucian teachings. These values have shaped the societies of China, Korea, Japan, and Vietnam, influencing their literature, art, and even their day-to-day interactions. But the influence of Confucianism was not limited to East Asia. It spread across the world, influencing societies and thinkers far beyond its place of origin. Today, the teachings of Confucius are studied in universities around the globe, and his wisdom continues to inspire individuals and societies alike. So the impact of Confucius and his teachings is far-reaching and profound. It has shaped societies, influenced cultures, and touched billions of lives over the centuries. It's a testament to the enduring relevance of this ancient philosophy. Confucius's teachings are not just ancient philosophy, they are a living tradition that continues to influence billions of people today. And as we delve deeper into the wisdom of Confucius in the next scenes, we invite you to subscribe for more interesting historical content. Don't forget to check out the free audiobook about Confucius in the video description. Confucius died in 479 BC, but his legacy lived on. His passing marked the end of an era, but not the end of his influence. As the sun set on the life of this great philosopher, his teachings did not fade into the annals of history. Instead, they flourished, carried forward by his dedicated disciples who were determined to keep his wisdom alive. In the years following Confucius's death, his disciples worked tirelessly to disseminate his teachings. They traveled extensively, spreading his philosophies far and wide, bringing his wisdom to the corners of the ancient world. These disciples, who had once been the students of Confucius, now became the teachers, ensuring that his principles of virtue, morality, and social order continued to guide the lives of individuals and the running of states. The impact of these efforts was profound. Confucian schools were established across ancient China, becoming bastions of knowledge and wisdom. They were places where Confucius's teachings were not only taught, but also discussed, debated, and further developed. These schools helped to foster a deep understanding of Confucianism among the populace, allowing the philosophy to take root and thrive. But the influence of Confucius's teachings didn't stop at the school gates. They were also incorporated into the Chinese state ideology. The principles of benevolence, righteousness, and propriety, which were central to Confucius's teachings, became guiding tenets for rulers and officials. This integration of Confucianism into state governance ensured that its principles were embedded in the fabric of Chinese society, shaping it for centuries to come. Confucius may have left the mortal realm in 479 BC, but his influence is still palpable today. His teachings continue to shape societies and guide individuals, transcending borders and time. Even after his death, Confucius continues to live in the hearts and minds of people around the world. His wisdom continues to echo through the ages, a testament to the enduring power of his philosophy and the profound legacy he left behind. So why should we care about Confucius today? The answer lies in the timeless wisdom of his teachings, which continue to hold relevance in our modern world. Confucius's philosophy is deeply rooted in the principles of ethics, education, and governance, all of which are fundamental to the functioning of our societies. Let's first look at ethics. At a time when the world is grappling with complex moral dilemmas, Confucius's emphasis on virtues such as respect, honesty, and integrity serve as a beacon. He taught that every action should be guided by a sense of responsibility towards society, a principle that could help navigate the ethical minefields we often find ourselves in. Next, consider education. Confucius regarded education as a catalyst for personal and societal growth. He believed that everyone, regardless of their social status, should have access to education. This belief resonates with our current pursuit for educational equity, reminding us that knowledge is a key to unlocking human potential. And then, there's governance. Confucianism advocates for leaders who rule with benevolence and righteousness, putting the welfare of their people before personal gain. In an era where public trust in leadership is wavering, these teachings remind us of the qualities we should demand in our leaders. But these teachings aren't just theories. They offer practical solutions to contemporary challenges. For instance, Confucius's emphasis on harmony and balance could guide us in addressing issues like social inequality and environmental degradation. His belief in continuous learning and self-improvement could inspire us to evolve and adapt in this rapidly changing world. So, why should we care about Confucius today? Because his teachings offer a roadmap to a more ethical, educated, and fair society. They provide us with the tools to navigate the complexities of our modern world and to create a brighter future. Confucius once said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Perhaps it's time we start carrying our own stones." If you enjoyed this deep dive into Confucius's teachings and find value in the wisdom he imparts, we have more exciting historical figures to explore. Our channel is dedicated to bringing you engaging content that makes history come alive. We believe that the past has much to teach us and that understanding it can provide us with valuable insights for the present and future. So if you're as passionate about history as we are, we invite you to subscribe. We're constantly uploading new content, and your subscription will ensure you don't miss out on any of it. And for those of you who want to delve deeper into the life and teachings of Confucius, we've included a link in the video description to a free audiobook about Confucius. It's our little gift to you for being part of our history-loving community. So don't forget to subscribe and check out the free audiobook in the description. Until next time, keep exploring history. And remember, as Confucius said, the man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. Let's start carrying our own stones.